Hello, this is the Women's Eye Podcast. I'm Stacey Gualandi. Welcome back. Well, we get to introduce you to fascinating women from all walks of life, including fashionistas who are not only sharing their talent, but also teaching us to be a little more creative, like my guest, fashion designer, Natali Germanotta Dolan. Hi, Natali. Great to see you
Hi,
again.
hi. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, this is great. And if you haven't noticed, folks who can actually see us, we're twinning because I am wearing one of Natalie's pieces. This is the luminous scarf from the Natali Alexander collection. This is their first piece, number 48, right here.
I,
It's so
That's,
exciting.
you're really representing. Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's so sweet that you're just such a, amazing supporter of us.
Oh,
We're
I
really,
I
we're
just
really
love it.
thankful.
And we're going to talk about the luminous scarf, all of your work. It's I'm so excited to brag about you. But first, this episode is brought to you by Casco Financial Group in Phoenix, Arizona. Casco president Catherine Scrovano started her business to help people create the financial strength to achieve their dreams. So, designer Natali Germanotta Dolan hasn't met a fabric she couldn't turn into something fabulous. She owns TOPOS Studio, a full service design company in New York. On Stage Essentials, the first costume supply and costume design store in Las Vegas. And she and her hubby, Alex, just launched Natali Alexander. Their first design is the luminous scarf, which you're going to have to teach me how to tie it all the different ways. This designing woman's work not only gives her a creative outlet, but also inspires those who want to follow her lead. Again, welcome, Natali. It's so good to see
Yeah,
you.
thank you. What an amazing welcome. That's so sweet. Thank you.
Oh, I know, but this, well, I see. The first time I met you was when you opened On Stage Essentials
hmm
in Las Vegas. And that was something because you were entrepreneur already, but this was even yet another. You keep creating new businesses. Is that comfortable for you? Do you enjoy that?
Yeah, I do. Yes, I absolutely do enjoy that. I don't know, both my husband and I were so creative at heart and we're always, whipping up and thinking about new ideas and things and it seems like a dream come true, honestly, to be able to be implementing all of those things at the same time. And it's really hard, but it's something that we've been thinking of for a really long time.
To be
Um,
able to do that. Yeah, because this is something where, it's probably for you started as just creating, these having a vision in your head and putting it to
mhm.
paper and then to actually have it displayed. Is this something that you've always, ever since you were a kid wanted to
Yeah.
design?
With always designing, yes, ever since I was a little kid. I remember my mom used to give me she used to save the pantyhose cards from
Oh,
her pantyhose when she was when she was working. And she would save them and then when we would go to church every Sunday, she would give them to me with some pens and highlighters and crayons and all of that. And I used to just always be drawing. I was more of a quiet observer, I would say, as a kid. And I still am sort of now. But
it's like
drawing was
you
always
express
just
yourself through your
yeah,
creation,
drawing
right?
just was always an outlet for me. And it was something that I really gravitated towards as I got older into high school. And then, I got more into fashion the older that I got. And then it was pretty much maybe 2 to 3 years before it was time to decide on what, our college path was going to be. And, I was speaking with a friend of mine and she was like, you're really into fashion. You have like such a creative and like, you're so like tangible with creativity. Like, why don't you try this? And I was like, it made a lot of sense to me. And, had I not taken that path, I probably wouldn't be where I am today, I
Where
don't
you are
think.
today. Do,
Yeah.
do you remember like that first piece or something that you designed? Do you remember that very first time that you said this? I love this, whether whatever, and what was it?
I mean, not my very first piece. I mean, there's been so many that I've that I've worked on, some that I, made in high school and in college that now when I look back on it and I'm like, why did I do that? Or like, what was I thinking when I was working on that? Um, but one of the pieces that I'm the most proud of is this one that I made for my sister during the Chromatica ball. It's this red jacket and like pants combo that is really like it was made to look like very grotesque in a way, but it turned out so beautiful in the grotesqueness of it all. And I think why I love it so much is it was such a I felt so immersive when I was creating it. We were listening to her album, we were listening to the music that was going to be played during the section of the show that she was going to be wearing the piece. And I just kept basically listening to it on repeat, on repeat.
Yeah. And
And
it
it
inspired, right?
it
Yeah.
really inspired. Yeah, I mean, I work so like in tandem with emotion, music, inspiration, images, and just the general like idea and vibe of what we're going for. I try to focus so much on the minute details. And it's really just a process and a journey that I just kind of go through. But with that piece in particular, I felt like it awakened something for me that was more in line with my general style as well as a designer. How it's
Because you have to
something that
keep
was
kind of exploring, I guess, to figure out exactly what, I would imagine what your what best represents you and your creativity, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's something I would say to anybody. I mean, to not be afraid to like keep evolving because like the designer that I was years ago when I first started off, I went to school at Parsons for fashion design, and then I went on to work for Brandon Maxwell, and I did textile and product development and production management. And then I went on to working as like a wardrobe technician on my sister's tours. And I started off for her art pop tour doing more wardrobe tech and being more mentored about costume design because that wasn't what I had originally gone to school for and learned everything about. Um, and then over the years, I continued on through those tours and, my role pretty radically changed from being, just maintaining costumes and repairing to then designing costumes, working
Creating the
with other
vision.
costume,
Yeah.
yeah, working with other costume houses to build the pieces for the show, overseeing some of the team, but working really hand in hand with the stylist and the head of wardrobe at the time. It just my role just drastically changed, and it has grown into such an amazing way that I feel like I've learned like a lot of different pockets. In such a short amount of time. So I feel really grateful and I feel prepared now to be embarking on this Natali Alexander journey where now we have this opportunity to put all of these ideas into use.
Yep. And all into one. And that's, you needed all those things. And I guess I should say,
Yeah.
Germanotta, that's the name. I think in Italian that might mean like ultimate creatives
I don't
or something along those lines. Because
know.
when you say your sister, obviously you're talking about Stephanie Germanotta and Lady Gaga. But this is something which is amazing too, because it's almost like as sisters, you both kind of fueled each other's creativity,
Yeah.
and what a great outlet it was for you too, because you could say, I love these designs. This could work really well for you on tour and those kinds of things, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, she's so hands-on with everything that she does. She's like such a creative force and like beautiful designer. And it's really wonderful to work together and to put our minds together with things. And she definitely, I mean, there's hardly been pieces that I've made where it's just solely come from my own vision. Like it's always a collaborative process where it has a there's a prompt, there's some sort of a vision that we're trying to achieve, and we do a lot of talking, conversation back and forth. Everyone's ideas are heard, and um, you know, it's really beautiful to work in that way because then you finally get to this point where you arrive at the finished product and you're like, wow, like I can really see how all of those ideas came together.
It's like you kind of know, right? That
Yeah,
yeah, like we've hit it. This
yeah,
is the creation. So, and
yeah.
you have it's so many designs have become iconic, like you said, the red pant, jacket and pants,
Hmm.
that you've really become a part of fashion history. Do,
Oh,
do
thank you.
you
I
think
guess
about
so.
that, or is it just like me going like, oh my God, I know?
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, one of the pieces that I had designed and that we made when I had this other studio before TOPOS Studio, we had Lanata Studio. That was myself and another creative.
Oh, great. I
Um,
didn't realize that.
and
Yeah.
that piece that we made, it was this typewriter jacket that we made for the Joanne tour. And it's this like really cool distressed looking jacket with a lot of like we like bought typewriter pieces that from like vintage typewriters and epoxied them and made this really cool armature. And it was during her Joanne tour and she wore it during her show and it made it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland.
Wow.
Yeah, so like it's incredible. I don't often think about it enough. I don't think. I don't know. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I like tend to be more shy and like humble, I guess, about the work that I've done. And I'm just really grateful that I've gotten these opportunities to do this kind of work. And um I love working really, really hard. So
That's great. You don't hear many people say, but obviously that's a trait in your family too. I think that you
I
all
guess,
really
yeah.
work very, very hard. And
Yeah.
but also too, it's a situation where it seems like you're also nurturing other people though.
Oh,
In
yeah,
terms, yeah,
absolutely.
that's something that's really important to you, right? In terms
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
where you've come.
Yeah, I love it like being collaborative. I don't know. I mean, like such a huge part of like my husband and I working together as well with both TOPOS Studio and Natali Alexander and Onstage Essentials. Like we get this opportunity to really like ebb and flow and feel off of each other's creativity. And he's such a brilliant, brilliant photographer. And it's been such an amazing like honor to be able to like, go through these like sometimes days, but sometimes weeks of making pieces. And
Exactly, but
then,
he's capturing it.
yeah, and then at
Yeah.
the end of it all, he's able to capture it. And when he's capturing it, he's really capturing it the way that I saw it. Like he's never like missed the mark in that way. And it feels really amazing to know that like we're on the same wavelength in that way.
Yeah.
And it goes the same with Onstage Essentials. I mean, not just are we're not just partners in marriage, we're partners in life and partners in business. And, I feel like not a lot of people can say that they're able to work together and like continue to love each other the way that we
I
do.
know that's what's amazing is people are going like, wait a minute, she's worked with her sister, she's worked with her husband. Like I can't see myself working with my sister or I don't know. It
Sometimes
depends.
it
It
might it
depends.
might surprise you. I mean, I don't know, it might surprise you. I mean, him and I, we've been together for over 13 years now. So
You were a Parsons
we really
juror.
know
Yeah.
each other. We really know like the ins and outs of each other and what makes each other tick and and what makes each other happy. So
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
is
all of
it
that
funny because you
helps
talk
too.
about, that you're more shy and that you let your creation sort of speak for you, but
Mhm.
more and more as you are emerging as the face behind the designs. I mean, I think people know. I want to say you were at Vegas Fashion Week in last year, and your dress, that pink made of 60 boas, was a showstopper. I mean that,
Yeah.
and that I don't is that become your signature? It's really put you at the forefront, and do you like that now? Where it's like, yeah, I created that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm getting a little bit more used to it, but my husband's in the corner shaking his head. No. I, um, I don't know. I think, the more that the more that you talk about it and the more that you, do interviews and podcasts and whatnot, like, not that it ever becomes like so easy, but it becomes more fluid to talk about, I guess. And it also, I think, in a really beautiful way, like keeps you more, it keeps you like thinking about the pieces and the work that you've done instead of just, I grew up in New York, like so much of being in New York is, moving from one thing to the next to the next. And I think doing these types of interviews, it actually kind of slows you down in a way where you get to really like think and reflect on each thing that you've worked on. And so while the interview can feel scary and, terrifying, dare I say, sometimes. I also really think it's like a beautiful thing at the same time.
Yeah,
I'm
because
sure I'm sure you probably feel similarly to that as well.
yeah, because well, and I just love to be able to, I guess I always say brag about other people and the creativity that goes into this. Is this something that you're just born that? Oh my gosh, did I just say that? Born this? Oh my goodness. But seriously though, I don't know if this is something that can be taught, or maybe you're here to say, yes, you can develop it because
You
you do,
can,
you allow
yeah.
people to go crazy, and especially with the store in Las Vegas, where people say, hey, you have ideas, we have the stuff that can help you create those things.
Yeah, I think you can develop it, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I went from being pretty shy to, growing more into my own, through college and, through my adult, like adolescent life. Like you just keep growing, you just keep changing. Like you're never the same person that you were 10 years ago. There might be little pieces, right? Um, but you just keep changing. I think something really cool about our store in Vegas is like we just kind of keep pivoting, like not in a way where it's like we don't know what's going on, but it's in a more like strategic way. We when we opened, like we opened with intention to, speak a lot with the customers and kind of get an idea of what everyone was looking for. And then we kind of went into flooding our inventory with what everybody needed. Um, and on top of that, what we saw was this huge influx of custom services requests that a lot of people were coming to us looking for custom costumes or bridal wear or something to wear to a concert, which, we're really grateful for all those opportunities because it's really moved what we wanted our store to be. Like pretty quickly,
Yeah.
like we had this intention of, that's what we want the shop to become is to be able to have a workroom and, take on customer orders and also do retail and also, sell a lot of different things and maybe do like special orders for different products that we don't carry. But it really like transitioned us pretty quickly and it skyrocketed in a way that we weren't, not that we weren't ready for, but uh,
Maybe it wasn't
it wasn't,
expected.
it
Yeah.
was just not expected. We were like overwhelmed by that,
Well, you guys helped me
in a really great way.
with my birthday
I know, and you
showgirl.
look so cute. Happy.
Yeah,
We
because
were so
me,
happy.
I have no idea how a needle and thread works. So that was fantastic because I could come in there and say, this is what I'm hoping you can help me with. And it's fantastic, so to
Yeah.
be able to help, me to realize as some sort of a creative
Yeah.
vision. So that was
And
fantastic.
it's so great. I mean, even the people at our shop, they are just so talented too, between like Kimmy, Justin,
And me and Justin,
Regina.
woohoo.
Yeah, Regina, and then Leah, who you haven't had the pleasure of meeting. She's now our like project coordinator and manager for all of our custom services, and they're just all so talented. Leah has a background at Cirque, and Justin and Kimmy, they all have their own thing going with their own commissions, and Regina's been in the industry for a long time, so it's just really been amazing to have all of them on the team.
Yeah. For you, are you still also working? Because I think Brandy Carlisle you've worked with and Gwen
Mhm.
Stefani. Um, is that something too that you continue to do as well, or are you now more focused on, the Natali Alexander, the businesses that you have?
We're definitely more focused on the businesses that we have. I
Gotcha.
mean, we can't really, we're spread so thin. I think
Yeah,
we're
we need
spread
more
so thin.
Natalie's.
I believe me, there are so many days where I just want to be like, I want six of me. And I want
Because are the
like,
ideas just constantly flowing? Is that,
yeah,
or
ideas and just like different things that are popping up all the time, like, you got to be able to like come up with new ideas, implement the existing ones, put out fires for new and old and future problems. Like, there are some days where you need six of you and
yeah,
it
yeah.
isn't possible. And at the same time, we want to have a normal life and, see our friends and,
Yep.
you
Spend time
know,
with family, the whole thing. Now,
yes, the
obviously,
whole
we're,
thing.
as I said earlier, we're both wearing our luminous scarf. This is the first creation. What's the direction that you guys want to go in? And also what inspired, because it looks very much like a stained glass window. That's what I just love.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
beautiful. But where do you guys hope to go with that, with Natali Alexander?
So, I can't speak to the exact details of where we are going, but I can say that there's a lot of ideas in the pipeline of what we're exploring next. We do feel like in the future there will be more scarves and accessories and ready to wear. And, my dream would be for it to branch out into homeware and,
Oh,
all the things, for it to just not be specific to like fashion design. Like I'd like it to be kind of it's a brand, right?
yep,
It's a
yep.
brand that is immersive, that can be translatable from thing to thing. Um, and, you know, for the inspiration for the Lumina scarf,
Oh, I was calling it Lumina. I'm sorry. Lumina.
oh, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Lumina. Okay.
Lumina. I mean, that's how I pronounce it. I don't, maybe it's actually called Lumina.
Oh, but it's your creation, so it's
Yeah.
Lumina.
Yeah. Um, the inspiration for this, you're right, it does look very much like a stained glass. It's very Art Nouveau inspired, which is one of my favorite eras. I I think too, you know, a lot of the scarf was inspired by emotion and mental health as well. There's, a lot of pieces of yourself and how, like, when you look at the scarf, it looks symmetrical at first glance, but then when you really look and pay attention, no two pieces are alike.
Oh, yeah.
There's asymmetry throughout the entire scarf, including all of the colors and gradations. And hues and saturations, everything is just different from point to point. Um, and we felt that that was really important to highlight because, like yourself, there's no two people that are the same. Everyone's different. And even with your own mental health, like seeing things as all of these different fragments that are all different shapes of different moments of history in your life and your time, and pieces that are going to keep, maybe falling apart and then getting put back together like kintsugi, you know. So that's really where the inspiration came from. It really actually it inspired me in a really amazing way. So
Positive
I hold
way.
I
Yeah.
hold yeah, so I hold this one very close to my heart.
That's amazing. Yeah, because I think we all go through those times in our life where we're dealing with some sort of you know, mental struggles or whatever. So that's what this helped you, I guess, in some way too, or in a
Yeah.
cathartic way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. And it was like, I mean, being able to work with Alex too, I mean, he was so heavy in the graphic design portion of the scarf as well. I mean, he's just so talented. Um, so being able to work on that together, it kind of felt like him learning more pieces about me as
Wow.
well. So like I said, it was just really like heartful and awakened piece for me. And I
Wonderful.
think like for what's to expect, a lot of our pieces will be like that.
Hmm.
maybe some with more intention than others, but we'll always approach with intention to focus on the minute details, whether or not it has to do with mental health or about the texture and design of the piece. That may change, but always focusing on the minute details. That's something that is very much internalized for me. My dad has always said that you ask me what time it is, and I tell you how to make a clock. So, so that's me. That's who I am.
Yeah, I think that's great. And that's the thing. I got to meet your parents, and you're coming from a place with plenty of support,
Hmm.
in terms of parents that encourage your talent or don't discourage you from pursuing that. This was something that obviously was innate in you, that you had this creativity, and they encourage that. I'm curious what you would say to people who maybe feel like they have something to say, whether it's in fashion or art or music. What would you say to them if maybe they don't feel like they're being supported?
That their support for themselves can be enough, and that it gives you an opportunity to look more inward, and build more of a relationship with yourself and your own creativity, um, and also to surround yourself with the people that do inspire you and that do feed your creativity in a way and fuel it, because their creativity isn't going to flow when the well is dry. You have to really, being an artist, like I would say in my experience, like if the well is dry, even though you are a creative person, in my experience, if the well is dry, it won't come. Um, and that you really have to kind of like soup yourself up in a way, like and refuel. And that's, doing that with, your friends, or going to a museum, or looking through inspiration images, listening to some really powerful music, and really also just kind of like sitting with yourself and your emotions and like asking yourself how you're feeling and the why. I think all of that can be really relevant to identifying, um, like what fuels you and what
What
you need.
hmm For you, just somebody who wants to kind of follow in your footsteps, perhaps starting a business or creating, designing clothing, whatever. Is there something in addition, like that first tip that you would give somebody or a piece of advice?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I
Yeah.
want to be funny and say run, but I don't think that's the I don't think that's the right way to go. No, I would really say that to be really open to change, take on every opportunity, whether or not it like big or small, even if it's, if you're doing alterations versus designing something, like I wouldn't turn down the alteration. It could still lead to something amazing. The way that our relationship kind of grew as well. Like I I never see projects being too big or too small, and you know, in every avenue, like doing some of the times where I've learned the most about myself is when projects are a little too small, and then I'm like, oh, really? How do I work on this? How do I actually do this?
You like
Um,
the challenge, right? I
oh, I
guess.
love the challenge. I love
Really?
troubleshooting and like putting out fires and problem solving. My husband and I try to problem solve all the time, and I think
Wow.
I think we really I think we really I think we really do it.
In addition to that, you finish each other's sentences, right?
Yeah, I think so.
But I think
Yeah.
it's a great example though of yeah, where you can work with family members. It's okay. It's not,
Yeah, oh my God, you absolutely can. You
yeah.
absolutely can. Um,
Curious for you in terms of, future plans. I don't know if you are somebody that looks at like, oh, in a year I want to be doing this, or 5 years I want to be doing this, or I still have one more thing I want to design for my sister, or whatever. What are what's kind of down the pike for you in terms of goals that
mm,
you've got? Is that one
I
creation you just
mean,
haven't done yet, you know?
I mean, I think that, hmm, I think, I feel like in the last year or so, we've kind of gone through like many milestones in our like career relationship. And in those milestones, each one that arose, I felt like was just like another hurdle. Um, I see us going through a lot of more iterations of hurdles to just keep growing. Um,
Embrace it, right?
Embracing them. Yeah, instead of being afraid of those hurdles, I think I spent a lot of my time being, maybe nervous or unsure because you don't know what the next step is going to bring. You don't know if all of this work is going to get you to the point that you want to be at. But what you can know at the end of it is that you did as much work as possible and you put your heart and soul into it to the point where that's it. That's what you had, that's what you gave. Whether or not it's the outcome that you wanted, you still did it and you get to look back at yourself and say, "Hey, like that was pretty awesome."
Yeah.
And now you
Yeah.
know, and now you learned a lot more about yourself and a lot more about the industry and you know, you made some mistakes and in the future it's going to help you not make those same mistakes in the future. And with people that come by along the way, you get to also pass on that information too
Yeah.
to help
Yeah.
them learn some of the best advice and skills that I've learned are from people that I've been like grateful enough for them to share with me some of
Wow.
those details. So,
Is there any particular advice that you've been given that
oh
you
my gosh,
remember?
oh my gosh, just to honestly to be myself, to stop caring what other people think. Um, because it's just so
Yep.
it can really like strangle your creativity.
Yeah. I know I
Um,
should put like a sign on myself to the same thing, where I
yeah.
get caught up in what other people think too. And
Yeah, you can, and it's not saying that I don't, um, that just because like that one person said it to me doesn't mean that I don't think about that all the time. But I try really hard to just swat those ideas away.
exactly, exactly. Because, well, it is, and because you're in a position too where there's fame, and
Mhm.
that can really be an interesting thing. And speaking, like I said, you were very famous at Vegas Fashion Week. You're going to be coming back. Well, you're in Vegas a lot because of your business
Yeah,
too, but you'll be
yeah.
back for Vegas Fashion Week
Hmm.
this year as well.
Yeah.
You're excited that'll be a great creative outlet, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, yes, it will be. It will be. And I feel really honored and grateful that Carrie Cooper actually invited me to be a board member for the Las Vegas Fashion Council. So I'm excited to say that I'll be, participating on the board and helping, kind of run with creative ideas and with a really amazing team and spark a lot of conversation about some interesting things that we can do for the years to come.
Fantastic. Well, I will be the one standing by, always ready to see what your next creation is now, because it's so much fun.
You're so sweet. Thank you,
But
Stacey.
well, all right. So, Natali, thank you. I appreciate this so much because obviously I think this is going to be great advice for other people too, just to take your lead for sure. To learn more about Natali Germanotta Dolan and all of her creative outlets, just visit thewomenseye.com. And you can also find our books, 20 Women Changemakers, 20 Women Storytellers on the site as well. Just click on thewomenseye.com/books. Now, find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can subscribe to our newsletter and YouTube channel. Just let us know your comments, questions, and where you want to find a Lumina scarf. But thank you so much again, Natali, for joining me today. And I can't wait to get you back to Vegas. And maybe I'll take a sewing class.
Oh my gosh, I would love that. I would love that. Thank you so much for having me.
It's just
This is such an honor to be a part of the Women's Eye podcast. It's just really an honor. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And hi to Alex too.
I will,
So,
I will. All
well, just
right.
meet us. Yeah, just meet us back here again soon on the Women's Eye podcast. I'm Stacey Gualandi. Remember, it's the world as we see it.